Condor, powered by twin 650 horsepower United Racing inboards. This boat is owned and throttled by Bernardo Gonzalez of Miami, Florida. And today driving, he's got George Cabrera from Islamorada, Florida, coming down for this race. That's Bernardo Gonzalez and Cabrera making up the Nightmare race team. And these guys are going to be a nightmare for all competition, a very strong boat. These United Racing inboards have a lot of power, and the Nightmare will certainly be a boat to be reckoned with today. But someone who has had an unbelievable campaign down here all year, Danger Zone D1, a 38-foot V-cigarette powered by twin 650 horsepower offshore Enterprise inboards. A lot of power right here. With a Mercruiser drives quite a formula. This boat is driven by James Acusto. It is navigated by Doug Borges, and on throttles you've got Carlos Capilla. Carlos Capilla, your owner, who's done a great job also owning and on throttling. A lot of sponsorship put behind this boat, the Danger Zone race team. Jamie Acusto, along with Carlos, have had a phenomenal year, winning all races that they've entered, an unbelievable record for 87. Captured the 87 Gold Coast Cup Quest on Oprah circuit this year, and they've come down to prove that they are just the best thing that's happened in 87 in Sportsman D. This boat's had a successful campaign, a true picture of consistency, and they know what they have to do for these 2 days of racing. The Danger Zone race team. Unofficially right now, Danger Zone is in first place, followed by Nightmare, and in third place, bam, good competition. Too close to call right now. We've also heard that the A and B has gotten started. Now we're coming up on our third place boat. This is BAM. The all-red 30-foot, 36-foot deep V cigarette is powered by twin 800 horsepower BAM Marine Pro motor inboards with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by BAM Marine out of Chicago, Illinois. Your driver is Stacy Cretus from Chicago, and Mark Berman is doing the throttling. The entire BAM race team hailing from Chicago, coming down right now to really explode on this circuit with a BAM. Excuse the pun, but this boat is really put together very well. These BAM Marine Pro motor inboards are quite substantial motors, a lot of power behind this boat. And combined with a cigarette hull, who knows what it's capable of doing. They certainly want to have a good showing here today, as well as Saturday. They'll be dueling all day with Danger Zone and Obsession, you can be sure of it. Danger Zone still in first place, extending their lead slightly over BAM. And Nightmare is still there. Nightmare looking good, as well as the other boats right now. Very early stages of the race right now, but BAM looks very good. Doing speeds well over 75, approaching 80 miles per hour right now. The BAM race team. From BAM, from a deep V known as BAM, we go to a skater known as Nightmare, D11. There's a 32-foot skater catamaran. Very patriotic here, red, white, and blue paint job, powered by twin 650 horsepower United Racing inboard engines with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Bernardo Gonzalez from Miami, Florida. Bernardo, you recall, formerly had the boat The Connection, but with a mishap in the last race, he was forced to get a new boat for the championships, and he's done it. Bernie's come out strong in this new boat known as Nightmare. Bernie is also your throttle man, and he's got George Cabria from Islamorada, Florida, doing the driving for today's race. So the combination of Bernardo Gonzalez and George Cabria make up the Nightmare race team, who we've mentioned earlier on in the telecast. They're presently running second place to Danger Zone. There you see Key West with Market Square in the background, coming on strong. This is the best part of the race for the spectators. They're able to see who's in what position, see these boats really crank it out on a straight leg, relatively calm water, and show everything that they've got. And right now, Nightmare is certainly doing that. Well over 85, close to 90 miles per hour right now, and screaming by the spectators at Key West. The Nightmare race team chasing Danger Zone. Tight competition right here. They'll be coming around the checkpoint and heading back down the other leg with Key West on the other side of them. Another straight leg where they can let it all go. Danger Zone being pursued by Nightmare. Hear them as they slow down as they round the curve. Once they get it straightened out, they start cranking it up again and getting those motors humming. Really moving good, throttling and just putting it all down and going straight out. Bernie's got these throttles pegged right down to the dash. There's no more left of this thing. He's going all out, over 90 miles per hour right here, and the boat looks very strong. Skater Catamaran doing a great job right here. These motors putting out a lot of power, and the combination of what you see right now, true picture of racing success. the Nightmare Race Team in their pursuit of Danger Zone. Good bit of work of throttling right there. Nightmare had a great run. We believe unofficially that they have overtaken Danger Zone for first place. So that could be Nightmare in first, Danger Zone in second, and now a boat hanging very tough, who you've seen earlier on from Chicago, Illinois, and BAM Marine, the boat known as BAM. Unofficially running in third place right now behind Nightmare and Danger Zone, but another good-looking boat. This cigarette is cranking, and with these 800 horsepower BAM Marines, BAM Marine Pro Motor inboards, it certainly has the power to do what it takes. And Mark Berman on throttles doing a great job right here. And Stacy Christus is doing a good job driving, as you can see, but Berman on the throttles is really outshining everyone right now. Doing a good bit of work. Oh, look at this boat come way out. Way out there. D111 Sassy Cat. This 30-foot Chris Craft Cat is powered by twin 500 horsepower Mercury inboards with Mercury outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Richard G. Wilhelm from Erie, Pennsylvania, and his navigator is George T. Surovosky from Newburgh Heights, Ohio. These guys have done a great job putting together this Sassy Cat race team. They've done so much work together. Dick has retired full-time now from his employment and has put everything into his race boat and race team. He's an innovator for many new race instruments and technology, and he puts them to the test out here on his race boat. He loves trying everything out here to see what it's ready before he makes it available to the public. George has been driving for a while with a history of the Dr. Pepper race boat. They've had quite a few years behind them. As a matter of fact, George is the Great Lakes Offshore Champion from 1980. He's had quite a bit of racing behind him. They've finished with a boat in the money in 1986 Erie, Pennsylvania, and they have finished there for many times. Throughout the 87 campaign, they've been the top points getter in the Midwest Division and certainly making them one of the top guns of the sport. After these races, Dick brings the boat back, does work on it, and gets it ready for the next campaign. But one new advantage with the Sassy Cat race team is the boat has a dual helm station. They say the dual helm has offered them some unusual benefits, such as it gives both of them the opportunity to avoid floating debris and makes course corrections, and most of all, it gives them the ability to blame the other guy if a mistake is made. They can always say, my partner had the wheel. So with that, the Sassy Cat race team has quite a bit of history and technology behind them. So with a combination of Richard Wilhelm and George T. Servosky, the Sassy Cat race team is certainly going to be someone to be reckoned with down here in Key West for the 87 World Championships. The Sassy Cat race team D11. Now we come up on C-35, the boat known as Phantom. Phantom is a 30-foot shadow catamaran powered by twin 450 horsepower KS&W inboards with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by John Schiapetta from Miami, Florida. It is navigated by Henry Simon, also from Miami. And on throttles, we've got George Schiapetta. The Phantom race team, they're doing quite a job today, and this is certainly quite a boat. Phantom will be dueling with Fish Peddler, Lone Star Express, Panther, to name a few. They're certainly the odds-on favorite, pre-race odds-on favorite, I should say. They've had a good campaign all year, and this boat has just come together with the crew at the right time. Schiapetta has Phantom dialed in quite nicely, as you can see. They've been consistent all year, they know what they can do, and they're certainly going to prove it out here in the championships. In other classes, Johnny Red and Double Crosser are dueling it out with Top Gun in Sportsman A, Water Heater, Fever, and Cheap Thrills dueling it out in Sportsman B. Of course unofficial, and everything is too close to call. But right here, Phantom is holding off a challenge by Fish Peddler and Panther, and also coming up in that lead pack is Lucky Strike. Sportsman D, who we've been watching, Bam, Danger Zone, Nightmare, all going head-to-head. This is some fine racing right now, and the Phantom race team looks very comfortable right here. Well over 75 to 80 miles per hour. The Shadow Cat is doing a great job. C-35, the Phantom race team. Phantom having a very strong run, as you can see, and on the outside, that's Maudsley's boat, known as Fish Peddler. Two boats dueling it out in the identical class. Sportsman C, very tight competition right here. Fish Peddler on the outside, Phantom trying to close the gap on the inside. Tremendous competition right here. These boats are so equal, and the competitiveness has gotten so great each year. And it all comes down to the final week of racing right here, and these guys go all out. Phantom and Fish Peddler coming right at you here. Phantom making a move, closing the gap in, taking Maudsley on the inside. But Maudsley not one to back away from a challenge. He will rise up and stay right with Phantom, I'm sure. As you see, he's hanging tough. He's going right after him. Now he is going to set his sights on the Phantom race team. This is C4, the boat known as Fish Peddler. It is a 30-foot Shadow Cat, and it is powered by twin 250 horsepower Mercury outboards. This boat is owned and throttled by Craig Maudsley from Miami, Florida, and it is driven by Mark Mercury from Hollywood, Florida. Maudsley and Mercury doing a great job in the Fish Peddler race team. Dueling it out with Phantom. Fish Peddler and Phantom going head-to-head. Well over 70 miles per hour. The conditions are good. Skies clear, relatively calm, and these cats will eat up these weather conditions and water conditions, as you can see. Maudsley and the Fish Peddler race team doing a wonderful job. Fish Peddler. Fish Peddler and Phantom side by side. Fish Peddler had a slight lead. Phantom came back, rose to the challenge, and he's taking him on the outside. I'm sure these boats will be dueling all day, and for the rest of the week, I'm sure. Phantom on the outside, extending a slight lead over Maudsley on the inside in Fish Peddler. Great racing at this point in time. We're about a third of the way into the course. They have a good bit of racing left, but right now they definitely know what these boats can do, and they're going all out. Fish Peddler and Phantom, head-to-head. Fish peddler coming underneath our helicopter. Coming right around there. Great maneuver there by Dave Clark and Vic Spellberg, our helicopter pilots, who've been doing a great job all week. Couldn't have done it without them. They're providing us with these great angles for this coverage. And right now we're coming up on C-34, the boat known as Panther. This 30-foot all-red well-craft is powered by twin 420 horsepower Mercury inboards with Mercruiser outdrives. The boat is owned and throttled by John Stanch from Westmont, New Jersey, and his driver today is Wallace O. Smith, and he's got Tom Core as his navigator. The Panther race team. Sportsmen see very tough competition. He's dueling right now. You saw Phantom and Fish Peddler going all out. And unofficially in third place, Panther is there, who is holding off Lucky Strike in fourth place. Panther, they know what they have to do. You saw Phantom and Maudsley and Fish Peddler going all out, but Panther certainly seems to be of equal caliber racing right now. This boat is moving, sounds very strong. The boat looks good, crew very confident. Good attitude with this boat right here. So we certainly wish them all the best as they chase down the leaders, Phantom and Fish Peddler in C-Class, the Panther race team. And heading down for the spectator show, closing in on Mallory Square, B6, the Fever Race Team. This all-yellow 28-foot deep V Manta is powered by twin 500 horsepower Ritchie Zool racing motors with Mercruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Joe Latona, who also does the throttles from Merrick, New York, and he's got Joe Scrow from Brooklyn as his driver. Latona and Scrow have been together for 2 to 3 years right now, and it's all coming together. They've had a very good campaign in the Northeast as well as down in the Florida circuit, and they certainly feel that this is their year for the World Championships. They've gone faster, as you've seen, but they feel they have a comfortable lead, and unofficially they do have a very good margin right now over the second-place boat, which is Water Heater. So no reason to go out and have any mechanical problems. If they can maintain this lead and have a first place going into Saturday, that is certainly going to put the Fever Race Team in a commanding position. With all the experience that they've gained over the last few years, they do not make careless mistakes that a rookie might make. The Fever Race Team, headed up by Latona and Scrow. We wish them all the best here in the World Championships, the Fever Race Team. And an oversight on my part, we left out the navigator, George Frogner, who is the former owner of this race boat. He's the one who sold it to Latona, and he is so pleased to be back in his old boat and with a winning tradition behind him right now. Frogner had some problems with the boat, but Latona and Scrove put it all together with the motors by Richie Zool, and you see them right now just loving it. Frogner is very pleased to be with a winning combination. He believes in this boat, and as you can see, the Fever Race Team is having a good day of racing. As far as we can tell right now after this fine run, Fever Race Team is still presently in first place in class, having a great run in Sportsman C. You see them going under the freeze frame copter, and a boat who is chasing them down unofficially in second place. The boat known as Lucky Strike. They're not in second place. Water Heater is your unofficial second place boat, chasing the Fever Race Team. But a boat who is in the hunt unofficially in fourth place right now is C-72, the Lucky Strike Race Team. This is a 30-foot deep V Scarab, powered by twin 500 horsepower Chevrolet inboards with Mercruiser out drives. The boat is owned and throttled by Bud Mullinghausen from Ship Button, New Jersey, and he's got as his driver Jeff Millinghausen as his driver, and navigating today is Scott Parker, the Lucky Strike Race Team, and I certainly hope that they do have some luck for them and certainly not a strike against them. Lucky Strike helping out with the sponsorship needed to campaign one of these boats, and we hope that this crew certainly does get lucky. They're chasing down Phantom, Fish Peddler, and Panther, who you saw earlier on. But the boat looks pretty good. Scarab, proven name in offshore powerboat racing, and certainly handle the outward leg of the race course, as you can see. They're coming around right here, the checkpoint, going to start straightening it out and start picking up the speed once again. So with that, we're going to watch the run of the Lucky Strike Race Team, C-72, the boat known as Lucky Strike. And right now, the boat currently running second place in Sportsman B, chasing down Scro and Latone in the Fever Race team, is the boat known as Water Heater. It's a 28-foot deep V checkmate, powered by twin 270 horsepower Mercury outboards. This boat is owned and throttled by Alan Shapiro from Pacific Palisades, California, and his driver is John King from Santa Monica, California. These guys came a long way, so they certainly feel they have something to prove. They know what this boat has, and they certainly know what they can do. If they can have a consistent run today, and of course close out with a consistent run, ooh, look at that. Who knows? Anyone could be the champion. And these guys certainly believe in themselves. Shapiro came out here with something to prove, that they definitely could be the championship in this boat, Sportsman B. And if the hull does look familiar, this boat is the old Ocean Outboard boat, which was the defending champion in Sportsman B. So it's the same boat, but with a new owner, and we certainly hope they do a fine job, because they're certainly starting to close the gap on Fever Race Team, B76, the Water Heater Race Team. Right now, after that run, Water Heater still is unofficially in second place, chasing down the Fever Race Team. Water Heater, we wish them all the best as they go under our copter, and we're going to pick up our next contestant. Very good racing right now, and we're coming up to them right here. I believe this is going to be a Sportsman B boat in class, one of the B boats that we have, and I make that out to be B10. That's Cheap Thrills. This is a 31-foot IMP boat powered by twin 400 horsepower Mercury inboard engines. It's got the TRS outdrives, and it looks very strong right now. Unofficially, he's running in third place, trying to chase down Water Heater and Fever. He knows what he has to do, because you've seen Fever and Water Heater running very strong, and Cheap Thrills has got to get going. They seem to have lost the engine cover, which thank goodness is not a problem, but it must have been lost in some of the open water that we've been racing here today. This boat is owned and driven. This boat is owned by Richard Scheiferstein from Cleveland, Ohio. We've got Ray Grabowski, your driver, navigated by Rich Scheiferstein, and Stephen Fussell is doing your throttling, all hailing from Ohio. A Midwest racing boat right here known as Cheap Thrills, who is definitely, with some sponsorship there by Travels Unlimited, Cheap Thrills have come out here to really prove that the Midwest has some great racing, which they do in that whole Michigan, Illinois area. Some tight competition, and they've come down here to claim their stake in the geographical, territorial bragging rights for offshore powerboat racing. We'll have to see how it goes, but the Sportsman B is going to be a close competition, and Cheap Thrills plans to be there. B10, the Cheap Thrills race team. Cheap Thrills having a good run, and from Cheap Thrills we now go to B33, Condor. This is a 30-foot deep V Condor boat powered by twin 250 horsepower Mercury outboards with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned by Juan Granado, who is also doing the driving today, hailing from Hialeah Gardens, Florida. He's got Javier Cabasi from Miami as his navigator and John Bishop on throttles from Homestead, Florida, the Condor race team in Sportsman B. They're presently chasing down Cheap Thrills, Fever, Water Heater, Cheap Thrills, and Condor right in the thick of things. Some real tightly contested racing right now. It's trying to close the gap on Latona in Fever. Have to see what happens. We're coming to the final stages of today's first race. Very exciting racing, too close to call anything officially right now. We're going to stay right here and enjoy the run of B33, the Condor race team. Condor with a steady run right here, still presently in fourth place and trying to pick up the pack. Definitely wants to pick up some pace and close the gap between himself and the leaders. Condor race team definitely doing a good run today. Right now we're coming up on one of the A boats who we've picked up. Very tight competition going on between Johnny Red A3 and this boat right here, A4 Double Cross. This is a 24-foot deep V Pantera powered by a single 550 horsepower Mercury inboard with Mercury outdrives. This boat is owned and throttled by Michael Cross from Southfield, Michigan. He is also doing the driving, and his navigator, Karen Cross. The Cross is making up the Double Cross race team. 2 crosses, 2 people. The Double Cross comes into effect. Hate to tangle with these two. Double Cross doing a fine job right here. Michael and Karen coming down from Southfield, another Midwest boat, just laying their claim to what their company and their crew is all about. You see all the checkered flags that he's taken out there, so you know this group is for real. You've got John LaForte and Johnny Red coming down from the New York area, dueling head-to-head with Double Cross Race Team. Very close competition right now. The Crosses and Double Cross Race Team have a slight lead right here over Johnny Red. Too close to call. It's going to be a very exciting finish, right down to the checkered flag. We'll have to wait and see. So with that, we're going to enjoy this run with a Double Cross Race Team. Double Cross race team going by us right now. And there it is, the second place boat chasing down Double Cross. A3, Johnny Red. It's a 26-foot deep V Corsa powered by a single 500 horsepower Merc Cruiser inboard with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by John Lafort from Lindenhurst, New York. And on throttles today, he's got Ralph Papke from Bricktown, New York. Johnny Red race team really trying to do a good job today. They're running very strong right here for this A-class boat. Sportsman A, very tightly contested as you can see. They're doing a fine job in this course of tracking down the crosses in Double Cross race team. Too close to call. They're going to round the bend, heading towards Mallory Square, and then around that checkpoint for an exciting finish. Who's it going to be? Johnny Red or Double Cross? We're going to have to wait and see, but right now we're going to stay with John Lafort Sr. and Ralph Papke in the Johnny Red race team. Johnny Red having a very smooth run right here, and that Sassy cat on the outside going by, heading toward Mallory Square. Different class boats are really not a problem. Johnny Red looking very strong right now. Well, some of the bigger classes have already finished, and we'd like to bring some of the unofficial results for today's first day of racing in the divisional boats. In Sportsman D, in first place, Nightmare, headed up by Bernardo Gonzalez in first place, followed by Jamie Acusto in Danger Zone in second, and in third place it was Bam, Mark Berman from Chicago. A good run and very close right there in Sportsman D. Sportsman C was won by Phantom, who was able to hold off Maudsley in the Fish Peddler. So that's Phantom in first, followed by Fish Peddler in second, and in third place the Panther race team, headed up by John Stanch. Sportsman B is starting to come in now. We've got some unofficial results there. Joe Scrow and Latona were able to hold off the challenge made by Water Heater in their boat known as Fever. So the Yellow Manta B6 Fever held off Water Heater, headed up by Alan Shapiro, who took second place. And in third place it was Cheap Thrills, headed up by Ray Grabowski. Those guys are doing a real good job in the Cheap Thrills race team.